Okay, people, today I think might be the day. This truck got quite a few miles during harvest. We got pretty close to 1 million miles. I'm gonna see if I can catch it turning over. 99988. We're about 12 miles from the elevator. It's gonna be right about then. Wow, that was it. We have a brand new semi. Wow, that's not what I expected it to do. I don't know what I expected it to do, but it not go to zero.
Meet the Peterson family. Our dad, the 3 Peterson brothers, and our families farm together in central Kansas. Our family farm started in 1882 and has been raising cattle and crops ever since. Please subscribe to this channel and give us a like and a comment if you enjoy the video.
So for the weirdest thing we're doing this year, Greg always does his sunflower trails, so he plants a few acres of sunflowers. This year he didn't have any wheat by his house to do double crop sunflowers, so he just decided to use some of his full season ground. We always have trouble controlling the weeds and stuff, so we drilled some oats here kind of late. It wasn't much later, and we were planting the corn, but they were some extra oats we had, so we just have like a 11-acre patch here, and we just decided to use these as cover. We thought about haying them or chopping them, but we're a long way from the feedlot, and it is Greg's ground, and also they weren't that heavy early on when we were haying other stuff. Well, they came on pretty strong towards the end of May, and then I was busy spraying and didn't get over here to spray them. So now they got pretty rank. I sprayed them with Roundup already 10 days ago. Hopefully it's not a mess to plant sunflowers into, and hopefully there'll be some moisture there. But I have to spray a second time for the pigweeds because that's just how they are. I'll hit the pigweeds hard, and I'm putting down a residual now. So that's the weird thing we're doing. You can come check out the sunflower trails if you live nearby. You can check them out in September or something, I think is usually when they're ready.
Alright, I got the neighbor's field planted, and then Nathan is spraying down these oats that I planted as a cover crop behind my house here. Got a call from another neighbor though, so I'm gonna go plant some soybeans for him, some double crop soybeans, before I get to these sunflowers. I was thinking about waiting a few days for these sunflowers anyway. There's a chance of rain here these next couple days. It'd be nice to get some more moisture on that cover crop to plant into. So I think I'll do the soybeans first, then hopefully it'll rain, and then I'll hit these sunflowers. But got the planter back to the yard and fueling up here.
So this really stinks to have to do right before the nice cool evening and nighttime, but I came here for the irrigation check tonight, and the engine here is running a little rough. Hopefully it just needs spark plugs. Apparently today is the day of the spark plugs because my transfer pump this morning, I was fighting with it. Finally I changed the spark plug, and then it started right up and ran. So it's easy to kind of forget something like that. This engine gets more hours than our other irrigation engines do. I'm hoping that's what it is. I think I will change the oil while I'm at it because it was about time for that too. Done one pass, this is our second pass, but I was gonna let it go down and back this time because with how hot it is, this corn is just thirsty. But hopefully we can get it started back up right in the morning. We have cooler days and chances of rain forecasted for the next week, but then more heat after that. Corn's shooting tassels and getting ready to pollinate, so we want that water on it.
Alright, got the neighbors, a couple fields there planted.
Just putting in a short little bunk line here, doing some welding today.
Swathing some grass for a neighbor.
Something to be said about the ease of access on these old engines. Of course it helps that it's an irrigation engine too. Real easy to get to. Alright, I got the new ones in. Let's hope she's running a little smoother now. Okay, it sounds a lot better. little checkup on it. Well, we'll see when we get it up pumping, and we'll check on it a little more often for a day or whatever. Alright, when I put this thing under a load, it still didn't sound good. So, talked to the mechanic. He, of course, is swamped, as mechanics always are. So, but he suggested doing the wires, and the next would be the coil, but this is an interior coil electronic ignition, so I'm hoping this fixes it. Sounds much better. Oh, no, the water's not there yet. It's not fully loaded yet, but when I primed, as soon as I primed it and it was under load, it didn't sound so good. There goes somebody's fertilizer. I think that's our fertilizer guy. I recognize the truck. There's the water. Well, I missed the coolest hours, the last 12 or whatever of pumping, so I'm probably gonna have to run it through the day. I'm trying to kind of get ahead here and maybe get a little rain and then start pumping just at night and in the mornings. Shut it off in the afternoon, then you get a lot better efficiency. But just glad I have it going. We'll have to check back on it often and make sure it stays running smooth. Okay, well, we are hauling water again. Filled this tank before wheat harvest, and it lasted probably like over a month, but it also rained and ran some in the pond, so I think they were drinking out of there some. But now this pond is kind of evaporating and getting lower and muddier again. They definitely prefer this clean water. We'll pump this full, and then I'll take the semi back and fill it up again to spray again tomorrow. And so it's clean water in the tanks, and has been obviously flushed out and everything. There's our float. Here's our water tower. So this might be the best stand of double crop beans we've ever had. We drilled them when we got done with wheat harvest. The straw was nice and dry. We cut through it really well. And then we got a rain right after doing them. Everyone come up. And then we also, since this was good thick wheat, there weren't any weeds. And since we have post options on soybeans, we just drilled it. Farther east, that's what everyone can do. They could just drill their beans into weed stubble and then they come back and spray it later. Well, a lot of times we already have some weeds or whatever, and so we try to spray it and then drill it and then have to come spray again, because we already have these beans up, so they're that close to a canopy. I'm gonna spray it now, kill the weeds that came up with that rain, with the beans that you know, are either smaller or the same size as the beans. They should have moisture to kind of reach that basic canopy level. And then hopefully in August we can get some rains and they can extend a little higher, have a lot of potential. So all this double crop has the potential to do a lot with late rains. Right now we're needing rain for the corn, so we'll take rain anytime. So it's pretty hot this afternoon. Tomorrow is supposed to be pretty nice, so I'm gonna try to get as much sprayed tomorrow as I can. First load out. Nailed it. Gonna get a lot done today, hopefully. I told you, it's spray day. But there's lots of rigs out running. Always on a Saturday. Saturdays are always good spray days. Watering. Along. Got my expensive lawn ornament moved out of the way. We have a little water that we might end up pumping through this thing this year. A long ways from a full pond though. Got done with my 8 load for the day. I think that ties my record. I don't think I've ever done 9 loads. I'm sure it would be doable. We usually get behind on water. I stopped for supper while I waited for my last 300 gallon. But then my last load, I kind of had several little spots to run around and get. So it took a while, and now it's like almost 9. So that was a big spraying day. Usually that's kind of how I do beans. The posts, like all our later planted beans, just do them all at once, kind of. Sometimes it's in the middle of double cropping. This year we're mostly basically done with the double cropping. I still have some wheat stubble to spray. We're gonna go rest tonight and have a nice restful Sunday. Go to church and well, we have some house projects to work on, but it'll be a change of pace and restful. Good day. Everything ran really well. I almost ran the sprayer out of fuel because my fuel gauge doesn't always work, but it started flashing just in time, and we did it.
There we are. We got the post done. We got this gate hung. We're using that gate. Then we're making a place to hang this gate that we actually bought. Again, instead of welding, we're making our own. It's going pretty quick with 4 people.
Alright, so we have hung 4 gates this morning. Basically built this pen this past week using free electricity poles we got from the utility company or whatever. And did a bunch of welding. Big morning.
Well, got them lined up. There's a storm behind them, but it's at least 30 miles away, so we're not getting any rain. We've had chances several times this week, but none of them seem like a big enough chance to really dump on us. Been showered on a couple times today, but no, nothing more than a few sprinkles.
To infinity and beyond. Oh.
Brighton's turn.
Brighton's turn. You gotta say it. You gotta say to infinity and beyond. Over here doing some baling of this grass along one of our cornfields. We're in between the highway and the interstate, so not a lot of entryways into this field. This is actually owned by the county, I think, or maybe the state. But because it's next to our field, they give us the option to bale it and hay it if we want. So that's what we're doing. Checking on the irrigation pump with my pickup truck here. Now, I was over here baling by this cornfield, and Nathan told me to drive the tractor down and check on it.
Okay, we're raking this little meadow for Greg's neighbor. My windshields are way too dirty.
Getting some baling done for a neighbor. Little grass field here.
He was standing up and saying Jesus was totally man and totally God, because that was an issue.
Are we in the cornfield?
So I'm checking the pivot this morning and it's running. Might be able to see the light over there. This is where we baled up this grass along the state highway. You can get a permit to bale it up. It doesn't make a whole ton of hay, especially this year it didn't, but you know, it makes it look real nice along the field. And I can just bring the Dewey's flatbed, pick up the bales while I check the pivot. So got my remote, take 2 at a time, and it only, last year I think this made a few more bales, but this year it only made like 4 bales. So get them picked up in just a couple trips checking the pivot. So we haven't had to pump out the lagoon for 2 full years, but there is some in there, so we might as well pump it out. We'll see what kind of fun we can find when everything hasn't run for a while. We got a nice cloudy, foggy day. There was chances of rain for like a week straight. Hasn't rained. Still chances.
Got grass growing on this side, corn growing on that side of the fence. It's hard to tassel. This is some of our later corn. It's not all the way tasseled yet.
Did it. We caught a rain. So I came down here first thing this morning, got this pump shut off. It rained at like 1:30 or 2 a.m. but I didn't have the energy to go shut it off then. Also, so many of these rains have ended up smaller than what they say that I've just kept the pump running until I know how much it is. But we got an inch of rain. That's gonna keep the corn, the dryland corn, going, especially with these cooler temperatures. I think we have a good chance at good pollination. We're definitely not just like 100% recharge or anything. Now on this irrigated, we are probably back, I would think, pretty close to a full profile. So that's why I'm getting it shut off. We'll get it started when the sun comes back out.
Rain out of bunkus. We had some rain last night.
She's coming for you.
Come and get me. Come and get me.
Steal. Steal. Hey. Hi.
Time to sort heifers. Excited about selling this group. We beat our best sales price ever for steers last week. So we are hoping to do the same thing with these heifers. Beat our best heifer price ever. Okay, we got possibly 2 loads. We're gonna count them and see how close we are. Okay, we got ones to sell over here, ones to sell over here. And then these 2 pens are going back to a grow pen for, be on grower 2 for a little while longer, probably sell in August. All right, beat them. Some of them are in a new pen, some of them are in the same pen they were before. So they always go and scout around on the borders of the pen.
All right, doing something a little crazy today, planting sunflowers into a very thick cover crop of oats. Just raised the row cleaners up, hoping for the best. The goal here is to suppress the pigweeds that always come with my sunflowers. I only plant a small field each year. But yeah, it's always a struggle to keep the pigweeds out. And so we're gonna see how this works, this cover crop. So I grow sunflowers as basically kind of a hobby. We open our field of sunflowers up every year so that people can walk through trails that I mow in them and take pictures. So it's kind of an agritourism thing. It helps promote the wedding venue back here to where people know that we have a wedding venue. And yeah, people really enjoy getting to walk through the sunflower field. Fun to have them around too. They're very pretty when they're blooming. But this is the first time I've ever drilled them into a cover crop like this. Now, what we could have done and maybe should have done is swathed and baled these oats because they were so thick. But it was during wheat harvest and we didn't really have time. And so we let them grow, and Nathan finally got it sprayed, and now they are a thick mat. But the thicker the mat of oats, hopefully the more pigweeds are suppressed. And what a cover crop does is it captures the nutrients and the moisture and turns that into organic matter, into roots and mass. And so that's the point of a cover crop. But the nice thing about an experiment like this is it's only on 10 acres. 10 acres is all I really plant to sunflowers. So getting the planter set up and you know, doing all the prep work to put these in is gonna take longer amount of time than actually planting. It's only gonna take me like 30 minutes to plant this field. But here's hoping that the cover crop works, and then maybe we could try it on a larger acreage next time with a different crop. Normally we like, if a cover crop is this heavy, we like to harvest it as hay or as silage. But here on this 10 acres that's 12 miles from the feedlot here at my house, it's a great place to experiment with stuff like this. So we'll keep you posted on how it does throughout the growing season. The last fold of plant 2024. We started back April 10th, finishing up July 6th. Feels good. Show you guys what the seed bed looks like here. Hopefully I can find some sunflowers in the ground. There's one. So there's your sunflower seed. So there's your sunflower seed. Got some really nice moisture here. It's shaded by all this cover. Should keep the ground moist, should keep pigweeds from sprouting. Pigweeds like bare soil. Best thing you can do is keep something on top of your soil, like residue here. And hopefully this oats residue sticks around for most of the growing season until the sunflowers have canopied and are shading themselves.
We're used to this picture thing. Yay! You guys are little troopers. Awesome.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out our music videos linked in the description. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and explore our website, www.petersonfarmbrothers.com. See you guys next time.